Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day today. I want to go into Pathfinder and put together a build that specifically revolves around being a herald of Iomedae and being that lawful good angel type of character, right? And so I've been trying to think about what's the best way to go about it. When I look at the Angel spellbook, I feel like the real bread and butter of it is Bolt of Justice. So let's read through that real quick. You release a powerful stroke of energy that deals 1d6 points of holy damage per caster level. The target needs to make a reflex save or become prone. If the target is evil, the spell instead deals 1d8 points of holy damage per caster level, period. Reflex throw, irrelevant. And then they can try to make a reflex saving throw, or if they fail it, they become prone and suffer a -2 penalty to AC, attack rolls, and saving throws. If the target is an evil outsider or an undead creature, they take 1d10 points of holy damage, and then they need to make a reflex saving throw, or they'll become prone and suffer a -4 penalty to AC, attack rolls, and saving throws. Finally, if the target is a demon lord, an evil dragon, or a lord of the undead, a powerful undead creature like liches, undead dragons, nightshades, and similar, so if it's a boss of evil, the spell instead deals 1d12 points of holy damage per caster level, period, no matter what, and then the target suffers a -4 penalty to AC, attack rolls, and saving throws, period, no matter what. They also need to make a successful reflex saving throw, or they'll become prone. That is bananas. Absolutely bananas. So you get that at the 6th level of your spell book, and then all the way on the, the 9th? No, it's the 8th level, you get Storm of Justice, which is the exact same thing as Bolt of Justice, except it does it to all enemies within a 30-foot burst. This is, to me, the spell you should be working towards to be able to just cast at will and demolish everything within your path. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started building out this character. So, let's go through this build. We'll pick any photo we'll do. We still don't know what photos they're going to use in the main game. Go to Cleric, Crusader, Human, because Iomedae came up as immortal. Iomedae, channel positive energy. Of course, we're going to be a good cleric. All right, now so we get to choose a build. I'll leave a link in the video of another video I did walking through all the different domains so that you can look through and have an idea of what they all do. For this particular build, I like the glory domain for 2 reasons. One, on the 8th level, you can emit a 30-foot aura of heroism for a number of rounds per day, equal to your level in the class that gave you access to this domain. As far as I know, it's the only way to cast heroism as a communal spell, so it'll affect all of your allies. And I think it's the best buff clerics get besides Guarded Hearth in the community domain. So it makes me really like this option. And also, I like the main option as well. You are infused with the glory of the divine and are a true foe of the undead. In addition, when you channel positive energy to harm undead creatures, the save DC to half the damage is increased by 2. So because of that, I feel like you could put a couple less points into charisma because you're planning to play as an angel, and more than likely in your party, you're going to have Soseo and Sela. So you're not responsible for all of the healing. So the only other concern regarding charisma is being able to damage the undead. This allows you to shorten a couple of points while still being effective. So we'll put, first we'll set this to wisdom, 13 points here. I'll put 18 here. So unfortunately we don't have quite enough to do the full 20, but still a good amount. And then 16 points in strength. So we could do a good amount there as well. We get 2 skill points, put persuasion because it's the main character. And I feel like there's not any party members who do religion well. I think Sela has this as a class skill, but she doesn't have it bumped as high as you will because of wisdom. So I think it's better if your main character does it. All right, and then for our first feat, what is that thing called? Here we go, selective channel. Nothing's more irritating than putting on channel positive energy and healing your enemies instead of your allies. So whenever you channel positive energy to heal the living or channel negative energy to heal the undead, you do not affect enemies. So I take this first, and then I will go ahead and take armor proficiency, heavy armor, so that you get that extra protection right off the bat. For background, I prefer the Acolyte. Acolyte adds persuasion and lore religion to the list of his class skills. That's not useful to you. However, he can also use his wisdom instead of charisma while attempting persuasion checks. You're a cleric, more than likely your wisdom is higher than your charisma, so to me this makes sense. All right, and then you get a bonus fee for being a Crusader. Might as well go ahead and give the longsword a little bit more effectiveness. Lawful good. We're not going to play around with the appearance except make it black. Since I'm black, pious. Some more A6. And next. All right. And then next again. Our class skills. When we get through actually leveling this guy up and leveling up the Mythic Path options, I'll circle back and go through the spells and Cleric spell book so that you also have an idea of what I feel like are some of the standout spells at particular levels. Okay, so gives you a thumbs up for spell focus, and I agree. However, I already said that the spell that I feel like is the bread and butter for this build is Bolt of Justice. But that's a conjuration spell. Conjuration, in my opinion, is a class that there's no reason to put a spell focus into before you actually get the Angel spellbook. So because of that, I would not recommend making it the spell focus now. Since this guy is not really going to be healing focused, it's really about damaging the enemy, I would say go for Evocation. And then there's a Mythic Path option that allows you to take all of your focuses for one class and apply it to another spell class. And so that way we can quickly get everything that we want for Conjuration when that time comes. All right, and we even out Charisma. More skills. All right, and now we have another feat. This time we can go for a greater spell focus. Why not? And then I would go for the Crusader bonus feat. I'd pick shield focus. Increase the AC bonus granted by any shield you are using by 1. Gives you a little bit more protection. All right, level up the skills again. Okay, and now we're to our next feat. Now, you've already gotten all the spell focus you can get for Evocation. I will go ahead and get Spell Penetration, because I find, especially when you get to level 12 through 14, they shrug off a lot of spells unless you have that extra penetration or unless you really strip down some of the buffs that they have. All right, and now we can start leveling up Wisdom. And of course, you're level 8, so you got the Aura of Heroism again. Okay, and now this time you can get greater spell penetration. And at that point, you should have everything you need in order to make your spells basically unstoppable. Now, you've got several good options here. I go for greater weapon focus, just to make sure that my sword it usually hits whenever I swing it. And level 11. Okay, now level 11 feat, you can go ahead and go for that improved critical. All right, at 20 on wisdom. 12. Level 13. For the level 13 feat, I would say go ahead and get extra channels. Being able to channel energy in this game is a big deal. It is constantly useful throughout the game. So honestly, you could have taken this earlier if you wanted to. All right, and then finally, we get that last level up. So let's switch over to the Mythic Paths. Now we get to the Mythic Path options. And of course, come on now, y'all know how this goes. Abundant casting. You can cast 4 more spells per day of 1st, 2nd, and 3rd levels each. Absolutely fantastic. All right, for our Mythic feat, expanded arsenal. Select one school of magic. All bonuses from your feats and mythic feats that apply to another school of magic, such as spell focus feat and school specialization mythic feat, now apply to the chosen school of magic too. So we can choose conjuration, take everything that was on evocation, apply it to conjuration as well, and you should be good to go. And now, of course, we want to get improved abundant casting. You can cast 4 more spells per day of 4th, 5th, and 6th levels each. And here I want shield focus. Add your shield bonus and your shield's enhancement bonus to your touch AC. This is might be a massive increase to your ability to be tanky and stay right up front. But if you're having no issues with that and you just want to continue to focus on building up your ability to do damage, you could either go for spell penetration in case you're having issues being able to hit with spells that are not Bolt of Justice, or you could go weapon focus if you wanted to make your sword stronger. But since you're the tank and you definitely want to stay upright, I feel like shield focus is the one that makes sense here. And then finally, greater abundant casting. You can cast 4 more spells per day of 7th, 8th, and 9th levels each. All right, so now that we've completely built out this character, let's look at some of the spells that are available to him. As you can see, he has a ridiculous amount of spell slots that he can use at any point in time. At first level, of course, you're going to use Bless every so often. It's a +1 attack bonus. Magic weapon, same thing, except for just one person, +1 enhancement, bonus on attack and damage. Remove fear is really nice, especially if you don't have a paladin. There are quite a few enemies in this game that will try to cast fear onto your party. So it's nice to be able to have protection from them. And then protection from alignment. If you're running an evil character, of course, a lot of times you're going to be facing evil characters, so having a protection from your own alignment is definitely something that's useful. Looking at level 2, you have Arrow of Law, which does really nice damage to any creatures that are chaotic and chaotic outsider. So definitely want to have that in your book if you're going evocation. And also Sound Burst. Every creature in the area takes 1d8 points of sonic damage and must succeed at a fortitude save to avoid being stunned for 1 round. Being able to stun everybody in the room is very useful. Every so often you might have to use Restoration to cure temporary ability damage, resist energy. A lot of good options here. Level 3. Archon's Aura can be really nice. Any hostile creature within a 20-foot radius of you must succeed at a will save to resist the effects of this order, but if they fail, it takes a -2 penalty on attack rolls and saving throws and to armor class for the duration of the spell. So, and it's 1 minute per level. So basically you throw this on and then anybody in the area who can't resist its effects become more susceptible to damage and less able to deal damage. Very good. Searing Light is another evocation spell. It does additional damage to undead creatures. And then regular creatures, it'll do at most about 40 points, whereas with undead, it'll do 60 points. Not useful against constructs. Both good options. Remove blindness, curse, and disease is stuff that comes up all the time. But really, I think you should just go for removing them with scrolls and not actually slot things for it. Delay poison is huge in the middle of the beta. There are a lot of enemies that'll just throw poison on your entire party, so you definitely want to have at least somebody who has this slotted, but it lasts for an hour, so you don't need a bunch of slots. And then if you know what energy you're about to face, Resist Energy Communal is absolutely fantastic. Definitely something that you want to keep around. And finally, Animate Dead is better than your standard conjuration spell. 1d4 plus 2 undead skeletons are summoned, so it's nice to be able to just throw that out sometimes. And they do a very good job of distracting your enemies as well. Even boss level characters, they're not beneath focusing on a skeleton instead of rushing towards you. So it's very useful. Looking now at level 4, Divine Power is pretty nice. +1 luck bonus on attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, strength checks, and strength-based skill checks for every 3 caster levels that you have, up to +6. It's a very nice boost for yourself. Holy Smite allows you to deal 1d8 points of damage per 2 caster levels to each evil creature, or 10d6 to an evil outsider. So very nice. Very nice. I never had to use freedom of movement. You absolutely needed this spell in Kingmaker, but in Wrath of the Righteous, I haven't seen a need for it yet. So I don't know. Maybe they'll change that before the full game is released. Protection from energy. Again, if you know what type of energy you're going to face, this is absolutely invaluable. Greater magic weapon, +1/+4 per 4 caster levels to a maximum +5. This is a very good buff. And then restoration is something you'll probably use quite a bit to cure temporary ability damage and restore points drained. So anytime you're facing ghouls, undead, creatures of that nature, that is going to be useful to you. Looking at level 5, True Seeing is absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of enemies that use blur, displacement, things of that nature. So being able to see those kind of people is very helpful. Of course, Raise the Dead, you want to try to avoid situations where you have to resurrect your allies, but sometimes things just happen. Keep in mind that some of these spells do have a material component cost, which you'll see at the top, that I don't have any diamonds, so I wouldn't be able to pay for this. So you got to keep that in mind. Flame Strike is nice. It deals 15d6 maximum damage. However, only half the damage is fire. The other half results directly from Divine Power. So even flame-resistant creatures will be susceptible to this power. Very nice. And Burst of Glory provides a +1 sacred bonus. I find a lot of times this does not conflict with any other bonuses, so it stacks well with a lot of other things you probably have going on. And then Sacred Nimbus gives you, puts a shield on yourself that allows for enemies to take damage every time they strike you. And at level 6, of course, you don't see it here, but obviously what we want to be using the entire time is Bolt of Justice. I already went through what that does and how amazing that is. And then also Holy Hymn. Instead of the prayer spell, this one does +2 luck bonus on attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, saves, and skill checks. So, and also each of your foes take a -2 penalty on such rolls. Definitely something that's worth casting. In addition to that, we have True Seeing Communal. So, of course, True Seeing is awesome. True Seeing Communal, just as good. Dispel Magic Greater. This function has Dispel Magic, except that it affects everything within a 20-foot radius burst, or it can dispel multiple spells, starting with the highest level spells and proceeding to lower level spells. Absolutely fantastic. And then Elemental Assessor. This will deal 2d6 acid, 2d6 cold, 2d6 electricity, 2d6 points of fire, and then whichever energy does the most damage will deal another 4d6 points per round for 1d4 rounds. Absolutely fantastic. If we didn't have Bolt of Justice, we'd probably be rolling with this. Okay, and then at level 7, Arbitration is nice. Based upon the creature's HD, certain things will happen. Any chaotic evil, chaotic good, lawful evil, or lawful good creatures within the area will suffer those effects, but you could just cast this in a way where it's not going to affect your party, so not a big deal. Restoration Greater is also definitely something that you want to have in your back pocket. Cures all ability damage, restores all points permanently drained from all ability scores, and it eliminates fatigue, exhaustion, and removes all forms of insanity, confusion, and similar mental effects. In the case of insanity, I think this is the only thing I found that regularly clears that effect. And insanity can last for quite some time. So it is not easy to deal with. Not easy to deal with at all. Holy Sword. The weapon acts as a +5 holy weapon. It has a +5 enhancement bonus on attack and damage rolls, 2d6 damage against evil opponents on top of whatever damage you would already do, and it also emits a magic circle against evil effect. Awesome. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. And Poison Breath. I said before that poison is absolutely fantastic. Of course, this requires some positioning in order to get it right, but since you're the tank and right up front, more than likely using cone attacks won't be a big deal at all. So this is nice to have in your arsenal. And then I'll flip back over to my Cleric. Of course, you have Storm of Justice at level 8. I don't know what from there is specifically the Angel spell book, so I won't go all through the spells, but I do know you get Fortress of the Faithful because I'm an Angel. So it works like Aegis of the Faithful, but affects all allies in a 20-foot radius and lasts for 1 hour. Aegis of the Faithful is, where is the thing? Here it is. The blessing targets one ally in close range. The ally is granted the combined effect of shield, shield of faith, protection from arrows, displacement, and resist fire, cold, electricity, acid, and sonic spells for 1 minute per caster level. Bananas. Bananas. The only thing missing is something that's really going to help your saving throws against mind altering powers. So, you know, it would really suck to put this on somebody and then they get insanity put on them and now they're tearing you up and you can't get through their defenses. So you still need something that's going to block that, but this is absolutely fantastic protection. Okay, and that is pretty much it for this character role. I feel pretty good about it, but there's always room for improvement. So let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Is this the type of build you wouldn't even want to use if you were running an Angel playthrough in Pathfinder? Or do you think there are some things I could have improved about it? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video later on this week. Take care.